Hey there guys, I feel like I got a subliminal wink from Cr1TiKaL about a video I made about a day or two ago. Cr1TiKaL made a video about the now controversial cash grab known as Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection, and this is basically what he had to say.
The Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection, which I've been looking forward to, turns out to be nigh unplayable. It's once again a revolting pile of garbage put into the landfill here. And I don't understand how you can even fumble this hard. So last night, 10,000 people tried to play on launch. Now it's a ghost town. Only 3 servers were available with 64 slots, so a total of about 200 players, which means you had better odds of making it into the NBA draft and getting selected than making it into one of these servers last night. The competition was fierce. You would have needed an actual Jedi-level midichlorian count to make it into this 200 exclusive slots available for this game. And if you didn't, you couldn't play the multiplayer, which is the main draw for the Battlefront Classic Collection, obviously, for 35 clams. 35 smackaroos here to basically just get declined from the frat party. That's outrageous. Like, $35 for the Classic Collection I think would be a reasonable price if everything was actually improved, like if they, made the visuals better, the multiplayer was super crisp, super clean, very tight. Then I could understand that, because you're getting 2 full games, really. But as it stands, you're not even getting a game. You're getting slapped, spit on, and then beef stewed here bare ass by this company that's just exploiting your nostalgia.
As you just heard, Cr1TiKaL spoke about some of the points that I made in my video, and honestly, I couldn't agree more. The overcharging of bad video games is a really big trend in gaming these days, and honestly, it needs to stop. He also mentioned something very important and has to do with storage and the file size of the game, and here is what he had to say.
They didn't even bother to put any level of effort into making it a reasonable size. It is 72 gigs! 72 gigs! Where does that extra bloat even come from for the bloat lord? What? How? I know I made a video ranting about this a while ago, how, like, every game is 50 plus gigs, even the simplest shit ever. Like, I guarantee if they remastered Pac-Man, somehow that'd come out to 55 gigs at this point. Where is it even coming from? Are they just hiding uncompressed assets in the game just for fun? Like, oh, here's a rock that takes up an extra 5 gigs placed in the middle of Naboo for no reason. Or, oh, it's a remaster, so on all the TIE fighters, we made sure to improve the windshield glass, so it's highly reflective and it's 15 trillion polygons, but it also added an extra 20 gigs worth of space required. Like, where is it even coming from? It doesn't make sense. But I'm still very tired of every game being, like, 50 plus gigabytes for no reason. These are 20-year-old games. They are 20-year-old games, and you did the bare minimum with the remaster to begin with. Why the does it require 72 gigs? It's incomprehensible.
Cr1TiKaL also had a lot of other good points to say about this topic. This is another thing I mentioned in my video was performance, how a video game plays, and he gave his experience with the game talking about the issues he encountered while trying to play the new Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection, and this is what he went through.
Now, earlier this afternoon, I decided to hop into the Crucible myself to get a first-hand experience of this garbage, just to see if it really is as bad as everyone's making it out to be. It has mostly negative reviews on Steam. It's got like a 21%, which I think is alarmingly high if it barely works. So I spent like an hour and a half with this little stain, and I was able to find games for the most part, so it looks like they added more servers here so you can actually get into lobbies more frequently, but I almost wish that wasn't the case, because every game is unplayably laggy. Like, this guy's got me in a Dormammu time loop here. Like, everyone's teleporting around, rubber banding, disappearing, reappearing. It's like I'm caught in a f***ing fever dream. And sometimes you'll just randomly get hit by, like, this invisible tornado that'll have you spinning around in circles, nauseating you. It's absolutely awful. I'd rather just not even be able to get into a game as opposed to having to see something that I loved turn out like this. There's also this fun little bug slash feature where if you try and search for a game, so like Hero Assault, if you look for a game type, it'll crash your game every single time. It doesn't matter what game mode you put in there, it seems like searching for anything immediately crashes it. I really wanted to play a little Hero Assault, so I wanted to try and find some of those bad boys, and unfortunately the only bad boy here was me for paying $35 for this miserable experience, or really lack thereof an experience. Like I said, it doesn't seem like it's exclusive to just Hero Assault, which is more of just an assault on your patience, having to restart the game every time. Like, even just searching for CTF here also caused the same problem to happen, where it just crashed it, which is a really frustrating little feature. Now for Battlefront 1, I was able to find one almost stable server where I'd only experienced rubber banding and lag like this like 20 times a match, which is an astronomical improvement over everything else I was getting throughout the afternoon. So I was able to actually play Battlefront 1 a little bit in this game right here, which for all I know, this is footage of the very first playable match since the Remaster Collection launched. Everything else has just been an absolute headache. At least this one was only lagging half of the time. So I was even able to hit this montage clip right here with that beautiful collateral. Tell your friends. Eventually I was even able to find this unicorn, which was a somewhat stable Battlefront 2 lobby here. So I was able to play a little bit on this one and start fucking racking up crazy kill streaks. But it doesn't really excuse anything. If you have to spend like an hour and a half, 2 hours just to find 2 playable lobbies, there's definitely a f***ing problem. Like, the game is released in an unforgivable state and charging $35 for it. What an absolute joke.
The important thing about Moist Critical's video is that all of this is coming from a very well respected, very big content creator whose word carries weight, and people will pay attention to what he has to say because he has a massive reach and fan base. This isn't me just going off at the video game industry for not giving us good video games, but backing up my claims by people who share the same views as me. The concluding thoughts of Moist Critical clearly come from a place of frustration and disappointment. He relays a lot of these points by what he says. He talks about how what they did with the Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection was stupid, and here are his final thoughts and conclusions about the situation.
Needless to say, I'm not impressed with the Remaster Collection, and I'm really getting super tired of games releasing in this kind of condition. There is no way they didn't know that 3 servers wasn't going to be enough. Like, they had to have known that, so on launch most people couldn't even play it. Like, what do you stand to gain from that? Most of those players, I imagine, refunded it when they realized they weren't getting in. So even if you do fix it, they're not coming back. So all you do is lose money by doing that. Why wouldn't you prepare better? Why wouldn't you put more time into it to optimize it so that way more people would be able to play it? It just doesn't compute. Like, the amount of money you're saving by not introducing more servers or by not making the game run better, by putting no effort into optimizing the game, cannot be worth it in the long run, because you stand to gain so much more from people actually having access to it and wanting to play. Right now, it is so hard to enjoy this game, because even if you do put a lot of time into it, it's going to take a while to find a lobby that doesn't just suck. So you're better off spending the 35 clams on a game that actually works and is actually fun, like Helldivers 2 for instance. You can get so much more bang for your buck from anything that's not this remastered collection. Just an outrageous waste of time and money. I think it's just a quick cash grab trying to capitalize off everyone's nostalgia for Battlefront 1 and 2. I still remember Reddit used to be feral for Battlefront 2. At least once every 3 months there'd be like, does anyone else remember this hidden gem? And there's a picture of Battlefront 2. Does anyone else wish that there was a sequel to Battlefront 2? And then a picture of Battlefront 2. So I think they may have just been like brainwashed by r/gaming for their unbelievable love for Battlefront, that they thought they could just pump anything out and get like $1 million overnight for it, which I just don't see being the case, because this is not a good remaster. It doesn't even work hardly.
The reason I made this video was because Moist Critical is a content creator I look up to, and it felt good to hear him say basically the same things I have been saying for a while now, and putting the message out there that a lot of us who don't have a voice or a platform as big as his are unhappy with the current state of video games, gaming, and the gaming industry. Moist Critical is evidence that I'm not just pulling things out of thin air, or I'm not just making it all up, that many people actually feel the same way I do. And with that, this is the Chilly Man signing off. I thank everyone for watching. Peace out.